aggressive amount of trailers were flying at us. We had two big ones on Saturday. Marvel gave us one Saturday and another one today. So let's start with the newest first, which is Loki. Had a trailer. I say surprise trailer, but it's not like we should be surprised that they want to promote things. But kind of in the middle of Falcon Winter Soldier, they threw at us a trailer for the next big Marvel show. This one is coming on June 11th. There's going to be that little gap after Falcon Winter Soldier finishes. 6 episodes, and we definitely got a bigger idea now of the plot here of wacky time travel Loki shenanigans. What'd you guys think of what Loki looks to be serving us?
Yeah, all the time travel stuff looks really neat. I like because Owen Wilson is so folksy, kind of. I don't know if that's a good term for that, but just the way that he comes across in the trailer, I was really surprised about that. All of the I just think it's funny that like the crux of this is they're trusting Loki to be the person to fix like all of these weird time things. And I like that they pulled that back from because these are all the questions that all of us had after we saw Endgame was, well, now what happens, kind of to time. And so to have them take care of that in Loki, which is I'm not sure what I expected. I obviously it was going to be him through time, but doing this was really interesting. So yeah, I mean, I was already psyched for it. I'm more psyched for it now that I can kind of get an idea of what it was, and I love seeing Gugu Mbatha, whom I love. So yeah, this trailer made me really excited. I liked a lot of what I saw.
Spencer, I'll give you a big build-up here for buffering, and go.
And go. This looks tight, Eric. Super tight. I think that WandaVision was really fun, but actually then it actually wasn't fun at all. It was good, but I didn't enjoy it. And Falcon the Winter Soldier looks like, I don't know. Is it bad of me that I haven't watched an episode yet? I plan on it. I'm going to, but it looks like, kind of like action, adventure-y, whatever. I can see that on Lethal Weapon. I don't need the wingsuit. I don't need the metal arm. I want to see timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly Loki fight the time police or vice versa. This is what comic book stuff is made to do, is to get weird with time, man, and to just get weird in general. And this looks good and weird. And Loki is like the good, weird character that can take us through it. He's doing DB Cooper stuff and like Viking space aliens, whatever Asgards are at this point. I don't know. This looks like the best one yet. This is as good as Tom Hiddleston's Chinese vitamin commercial. I'm marking it down right now.
Yeah, as someone who, I loved WandaVision. I'm liking Falcon Winter Soldier, but I'm all into the weird. Make them all weird, and I love that these shows can get weirder than the movies probably would feel comfortable getting. So I'm all on board and getting trippy with Loki. And I agree with you, Danielle. It's really fun. The energy of Owen Wilson being Owen Wilson in the middle of the MCU is great. And I love Gugu, and she's playing a character named Judge Renslayer, which is an amazing title. And if you're a comic book geek, there's a character named Ravonna Renslayer who's connected to Kang the Conqueror. So it looks like they're doing their cool thing of seeding stuff, introducing Kang in one thing and her in this, and you know that they're thinking 20 projects down the line. But I'm into what they're serving us for this. And we have so many trailers to talk about. Any final Loki thoughts before we move to before we get Welcome to the Space Jam?
Not low key, but high key. I see what I did. I'm the worst. Yeah, no, I just gotta agree with Spencer. This looks really fun. I like all the weird stuff. I'm pretty happy.
As am I. I think we're all happy. Space Jam, guys. This had its first trailer on Saturday. And, we have our LeBron and we have our Looney Tunes, and that was the stuff we knew about. I think I knew a little bit about the fact that there was going to be other WB characters involved in this, but not to the extent we saw in this trailer. It is wild. The freeze frames you can do on this trailer and who is in this movie. What do you make of the new Space Jam 2.0, Space Jam everyone Warner Brothers owns? What do you think of the direction of this movie?
I am confused, but it's not a bad confused. It's just I want to know the logistics. I want to know, like, was there like an alert that told everybody from all of the different planets that they got to go down and watch the Space Jam? Why are they all there? Did they take a break? Do you have to then explain? Is there like a PDF so that all of the people from Game of Thrones know what a basketball is? I'm very excited to get to learn or not learn some of these things. the dudes from Orange,
Clockwork
that was
Orange.
for Clockwork Orange. That was interesting. After they said they were getting rid of Pepe Le Pew or something, now they've got them in the background watching. Yeah, it's Easter. If you like throw everything into the pot and let's get the Easter eggs going, then this is definitely something that you're going to enjoy, because it's literally every character that's ever been made on screen that you've ever seen before. Amen.
Spencer, what do you think of Ready Player Space Jam? And he's thinking about it.
Yeah, I gave it the thumbs
Worth
down
it.
and the raspberry.
It was worth the build-up. It really was.
It's funny seeing your delayed reaction. I don't know what's going on with my internet today. I'm sorry. But I will tell you this, that look, I love the NBA. I'm a big NBA. Here's my Magic Johnson goat hat. I love the Lakers. I love the Looney Tunes characters. Space Jam's a bad movie. It's a dumb movie and it's bad, and it's an extended commercial and it's not very good. And I've rewatched it recently. And look, it is a movie tailor-made for 9-year-olds, much like Ready Player One. And that's fine. We like a lot of things that are made for 9-year-olds over here on Fandom Entertainment. But I'm not going to be fooled again. And I also, like I said, I don't like the Ready Player Oneification of all media. It doesn't make me happy to see the Iron Giant, see his corpse exhumed and used for basketball, or used for war, or used for all these things. Let the Iron Giant die. These movies weren't they didn't have integrity to begin with. This is based off of a burger commercial or a shoe commercial, one of the two, with Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. So it's not like they're desecrating the sanctity of Space Jam, but this doesn't give me anything that's gonna get me excited or feel like I won't get duped again, like I was revisiting Space Jam the first time. And they got rid of the only part that I thought was interesting, which was Terrence Nance was the original writer-director. He still got writing credit on it, but he got booted. And no offense to Malcolm Lee, but Terrence Nance is like a tree. He's a visionary, you guys. He's a visionary. His stuff is so incredible and unique. And the thought of him doing a Bugs Bunny based LeBron James basketball movie was really exciting and was going to be weird, I promise you, given his filmography. But when he got kicked off, I thought, okay, they're going with the 90-minute long commercial version. And you know what? Not count me out, because I definitely will watch it, but I will be buzzed and I won't have high expectations.
It's just so funny that this movie makes Ready Player One look like a more artistically driven, organic way to do this, because I'm like, well, at least in Ready Player One, it was like I understood that these are people who could be whatever they wanted, a computer, and they had to get multiple studios involved. So there was something like, oh, they had to do work to do this. This is literally one company saying, who do we own? And I don't know how the story will justify that. Like, does he fall into the Warner Media server? I don't know. But it is utterly bizarre to see this is the IP of one company, way bigger than Wreck-It Ralph 2, way bigger than we've seen anyone go in this direction. What Warner Media owned, and don't forget, we're talking HBO, TV shows, movies. At this point, kitchen sink it. Who do you want to see get into the Space Jam here from the proud history of Warner Media?
Well, I mean, give me hobbits or something, I guess. Again, any character. You know what you could do? You could take all the characters that were already in Ready Player One and then duplicate them. So now we've got the ones from here, and we have the Ready Player One versions, and just give me more of the multiverse. That's what we can do.
Spencer, who would you like to see in the Space Jam?
I'm gonna take because Warner Brothers owns HBO. I'm gonna take Vinny Chase and the boys from Entourage, baby. Yes. They're back and they're balling. Balling. Turtle in there. Turtle maybe reprising the Bill Murray role. E is the manager, and Johnny Drama, of course, cheering on from the sidelines, and Vinny Chase, the Aquaman, doing the big slam dunk at the end.
I was thinking about Entourage too, but I'll go with all the friends, but at least Gunther, if not the friends. And then I was like, what Scorsese movies are Warner Brothers? And I was like, Goodfellas is Warner Brothers. So what is cinema but not seeing Liotta and De Niro get on the court there, for the final act of this film?
I want to see the Goodfellas meet the Good Feathers, and then we've done it.
There you go. I think that will justify this movie's existence. So yeah, then we're totally on board for Space Jam 2. All right, let's. There's two more trailers to talk about. Again, it was Trailer Mania. There was a new Suicide Squad trailer at the end of last week, not the one we talked about a few days before. This was the Green Band trailer that went out for theaters with Godzilla versus Kong opening. Warner Brothers sent this out, and it was actually pretty different, notably than usually a red band and green band trailer. It's just like a few lines are different. Maybe you get a couple more gore shots, but this was like had some very different stuff in it. So now that we've seen two big trailers for Suicide Squad in the past couple weeks, what do you guys think?
They are really all in on Peacemaker. So he got some like really good parts in there, so that was great. I I hope it was a joke, them doing I don't even know the name of the song. We just all know it, the Hey 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 Goodbye song. That's what I
Yeah.
always call it. But yeah, them doing kind of like the dramatic version of that, I'm hoping was a nod or a joke and it wasn't to be as taken seriously. But yeah, other than that, I liked this trailer more because I went on there and I said when we did the last one, like, it's good, but it feels a little like they're really trying to hammer in that justifying it being a red band trailer. But I like this trailer a lot more, like genuinely in terms of getting me psyched for a movie I'm already psyched for. This one was, in my opinion, I think it did a better job.
Spencer. Didn't work. Come on, Spencer.
Hello,
There you
hello.
go.
Testing, one, two, three.
Yes.
You can hear me now. You can hear me now.
We can.
Before I'm banished, before I'm banished to the Matrix verse, I'd just like to say that this trailer was cool and continues to be cool, and I'm going to see the movie. And I got to see Polka Dot Man in action. And if I die, if I die in the next 15 seconds, if I'm eliminated from the internet, at least I'll get to say that I saw Polka Dot Man throw his polka dots. So that's my one sentence review.
A, don't die. B, agree on Polka Dot Man. You got to see him in action, and yeah, Danielle, you're totally right. Like, it makes sense because they literally have a TV show coming with him, but they're giving you a lot of Cena. And you know what? He's really funny. He's proven in other movies he can be really funny, and does not care about his image, which is a big plus. And everything he's saying and doing as Peacemaker, while looking like John Cena, looks very funny to me. So I am into what they are selling. And then lastly, there was again the busyness continued with another Black Widow trailer. This is the first big trailer in quite a while, though we had several pre-pandemic. But this is like here's a new release date trailer that launched just a couple hours after Space Jam. We were all reeling on Saturday morning from one trailer. So what did you guys think of Black Widow? And especially in the wake of the fact that this is a movie that we already had a lot of promotion for, that we kind of have to reset ourselves on. So what do you think after this trailer?
Yeah, I didn't need this trailer. Like I'm already in on it, like not in a bad way. Keep showing us more stuff, but I was already in on it. So I didn't really need it. It looks good. Still hyped for the movie and the same that I have been the entire time. I do like that we get more of Yelena. I think it's Yelena. So that's exciting, but yeah, we were wondering when they were going to start really pushing this. Now when it's looking like it's going to start to actually come out. And so
Actually
for me,
open.
yeah, this was just hey, remember we're doing this. Okay, bye. And they did it. I remembered it was happening.
Spencer Gilbert, I say his name for a great intro.
I've been summoned. Hello. Before I turn into the lawnmower man, let me tell you what I think about Black Widow. Look, she's got a mysterious past. She got that much more mysteriouser in this latest trailer. Ooh, the mystery is coming hot and thick with that one. You don't know who her family really is or was, and and I can't wait to find out. That said, this is Marvel movies to me. I think they need to deliver on spectacle just as much as they need to deliver on character or thoughtfulness or plot or what have you. And I'm just not seeing anything that's like looks like it's going to blow me away. The something about the skydiving sequence that they keep pumping is like not that exciting to me because physics. You know, you kind of just see it and your brain's like, that's not real. It doesn't seem to have the, I'm sure it will with a villain like Taskmaster and, you know, the style of combat that they use. You'll have great Winter Soldier-y hallway fights and stuff like that. But I'm not seeing anything that's going to blow me away from an image perspective. But I'm holding out hope that the movie is still incredible for other reasons. So this gave me more of that. But I didn't see anything that's like, oh, gotta be there in the big screen day one. I'm still hoping it's a good movie though.
Yeah, none of the trailers had blown me away for this, but this was my favorite so far. And maybe it's because I was a sucker for. They gave us this. We still don't know a lot about the plot, I guess, to its credit, given the fact that it's been promoted for 2 years and it's mysterious. But the stuff in this trailer that kind of hinted at the Americans type history where they were posing as a family seems to be the backstory we're going for here. Like when she's like, "It was real for me," I was like, "Oh, okay." I think that they were 4 spies that were like, "You're a family." And I like that. And so that was cool. And then, oh man, those bastards and their manipulation of using the Avengers theme, but a new reorchestrated Russian version. And it worked like a charm because Black Widow doesn't have her own big theme yet. I'm sure in this movie she'll get one. So I knew I was being manipulated, but I thought they did a good job of it by playing that Avengers theme. All right, guys, that is a lot of trailers we just talked about. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about them in a few minutes on the AMA here. But in the meanwhile, thank you so much for watching. And if you have not, please subscribe to our channels for videos every weekday. Hit that like, hit that bell for us. And you should check out a video with our own Joe Starr. He sat down with Fenway Jones from Jasper's Game Day. They discussed D&D, mental health awareness, and suicide prevention. You can watch that video and learn more by clicking the link in the description. Apologies, we did miss a Falcon Winter Soldier chat, Roth and I, this past Friday for scheduling issues. We'll be back this Friday to talk about episode 4, and I'm guessing we'll probably dive into episode 3 a little bit as well. So we'll be doubling up this week on that convo. Well, 1 video, 2 episodes covered. So please be back on Friday for that. All right, let's do a little bit of news roundup here because, yeah, a lot of stuff was happening at the end of last week and this weekend. Netflix, known for making big moves, made a pretty notable one given the title involved, which is they are doing Knives Out 2 and 3. We knew Knives Out 2 was happening. We knew that Rian Johnson was directing it and that Daniel Craig was returning. But now we know that there's going to be 2 sequels and that Netflix is paying $450 million for the rights to do these suckers. It's a little unclear what the release pattern will be. You know, Netflix movies have done theatrical releases in the past. The Irishman was probably their biggest one. In AMC and other major chains would refuse to play them in the past. Who knows, after the pandemic, maybe that'll loosen up. But just the fact that it's Netflix at all got a lot of attention. I guess this happened. I like many, I was surprised, how did this happen? But I guess Rian Johnson and his producing partner own the rights to Knives Out. And the first movie, there was only 1 movie deal, which I'm sure Lionsgate greatly regrets, that they didn't even have a sequel option. So when Netflix comes calling with $450 million, who are you to say no? So what do you guys think about Knives Out becoming a trilogy and a Netflix trilogy, no less?
I am so stupid excited for this. I think that it's, with the right ensemble cast, these are good. That's what this is going to be a showcase for. And it's, I guess it doesn't matter if it's on Netflix or if it's in theaters. I kind of am ready for this style of mid, not like a huge blockbuster, but not like an indie film. I'm excited for these to get back into the theaters, but I'm going to watch it on Netflix or anywhere. And 450 mil, good for you. That is a big round number. But yeah, I'll watch it on Netflix. I will watch it in a theater. I'll watch it in a boat. I'll watch it with a goat. I really like this series a lot. So I'm very excited for it.
Spencer, your Knives Out thoughts, and go.
I was just quickly Googling the Knives Out box office, but my 56K modem can't bring it up in time. So I'm sure that's actually a good investment on their part. I mean, good for Rian Johnson. My Lord, almost $500 million. I did not know that he owned the rights to his own movie. That never happens. That's great. You love to see. I can take more Kentucky Fried James Bond solving mysteries. That's what the franchise is all about. And like you said, the ensemble cast. And I don't know if it's just me or the algorithm's broken or I've broken the algorithm, but is there nothing good on Netflix anymore? Or am I just becoming like a little choosy little Lord Fauntleroy, like, no, not for me. But that is like the first thing I've heard in a long time that has gotten me excited to turn Netflix back on. I mean, I'd rather see a big made for theaters blockbuster movie more so than like, oh, these 2 chefs have to choose between canapes or interior decorating this new wedding. It's like, what rogue AI is designing the shows for them these days? So I'm excited. Maybe they're spooked by HBO Max, like putting real movies on on the streaming service or something like that. So I'm all for it, and I think when they compete, we win. So I'm in.
I think you're onto something there, though, Spencer. First of all, I just looked it up, and it made 311 million worldwide on a 40 million budget, so hugely profitable, that first one. But yeah, Netflix, because they've lost all their big studio deals for the most part, and they don't have any of the Disney stuff. You can't go there for any of the Marvels, and they've lost more and more. They're losing the catalog stuff, so they have to rely on original stuff. I think this probably is a move of them going like, what is a franchise that we can have a pre-sold franchise, beyond having stuff like The Witcher and some like we're adapting some books and games. And I think they saw Knives Out sequels as an opportunity to be like, all right, that this is something we can be the ones that people can think of in conjunction with the Knives Out franchise. Great. And yeah, my only disappointment there is that because Knives Out was the rare movie recently that was neither a 100 million to 200 million budget or a tiny little indie that got like a big success at the box office. It was like the mid-level kind of movies that don't get made for theaters much anymore and have been primarily streamers. So there's part of me that's like, oh, that's not going to be a theatrical movie. Or it will be maybe a minimal theatrical movie. So I'm kind of a little bummed by that. But at the same point, yeah, I'm sure these are going to be good movies. I think they're going to be great. So how can you not be excited? What do you guys think? They're doing 2 and 3. I know they're going to be like standalone mysteries, but this does make me think there's a little more of a chance of like let's go talk to Chris Evans in prison or something like that. It does make me think you could probably seed the world a little more and give him, his little recurring cast of characters around Daniel Craig. Do you want that, or do you want it to be like 100% new case standalone?
I want it 100% new case, new awesome banger cast. Don Cheadle is almost guaranteed to be in one of these movies, right? He's doing everything. Him and Chris Rock guaranteed to be in one of these movies. I'm saying it right now. But so that's what I want. I want to see him interacting with like a new cast. I'm not really, it'd be fun to have Chris Evans in there, but these really work when it's just about him solving the cases. So that's all I want. I don't want any going back, all forward.
Are you all forward, Spencer?
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind just like a brief cutaway to Ana de Armas just puking all over that mansion.
Just market her territory with puke. With your internet, I'm not sure if you were going to say more, but we're going to leave that convo on that because how can you top that? Let's talk DC movies and ones they're not doing. They've announced a bunch that have taken forever to happen, and some that we already knew had kind of died. But last week we found out that 2 movies that had been in development for a few years are at least currently being taken off the slate, which is the New Gods, which was Ava DuVernay, and James Wan's Aquaman spinoff, which was The Trench. And neither of them are happening. They put out, it's actually interesting, they put out a statement because usually these things kind of quietly go away. Maybe they felt like too many people were asking. And so they said, as part of our DC slate, some legacy development titles, including New Gods and The Trench, will not be moving forward. We want to thank our partners, all of whom are still making movies with them. Ava is doing a DC CW series called Naomi, and of course James Wan is still doing the Aquaman sequel. So what do you guys think about again, there's been so much start and stop with DC movies. What do you think of these 2 particular projects being pushed aside for at least for now?
The Trench was one I kind of couldn't believe was going to happen even when it was happening, just because you have such a hit with Aquaman. It seems like the next thing you do is you just plan the next Aquaman and you don't go off into this. And he can go into a trench. There's trenches all day. He can go visit the trench. So it doesn't surprise me that with the pandemic and with everything that's happening, them saying, no, we're going to get rid of that side thing and we're going to go straight to Aquaman 2. That makes way more sense for me because I wasn't interested in the Trench at all. New Gods bums me out. I was really looking forward to. She's just got such an eye for like big grand characters that I was really, really looking forward to seeing her touch on New Gods. So that one did like, especially, we got that little glimpse of them in the Snyder Cut. And so I was really, really excited to get into more of the New Gods. So that, and it sounds like she was pretty bummed about it too. So that one is like, that gets me in the heart. But Trench, I'm fine.
Spencer, are you mourning the Trench?
Yes, okay? I'm mourning the Trench very much so. I think the Trench sounds perfect for like an HBO Max spinoff where it's like, this week on the Trench, it's a sea turtle, but it's evil. Like, oh no, what's coming out of the Trench this week? I would totally be into like a dare I say it, Sequest-ish, monster of the week coming out of the trench, and a hard scrabble sea captain has to harpoon it back down. I know that has nothing to do with Aquaman, but whatever, it doesn't have to. Similarly for the New Gods, yes, it's a bummer. I would have loved to see Ava DuVernay's take on that. At the same time, you know, I would hate for her to be a victim of her own success and have to make New Gods 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because I would really like to see what else she can do. Not everyone that's super talented needs to make comic book movies. I think that maybe I don't want to say too good for comic book movies, but I am more interested in what other projects she would have or be into rather than, Dark Side.
Yeah, I think I'm similar for both you guys in that. Yeah, New Gods is the one that I'm bummed about and was like, oh, that sounded like it was gonna be really cool. And it seems really strange that there was like THR. One of the reports was like, oh, maybe it's because Darkseid was in the Snyder Cut, but you've got multiple versions of all these characters running around so much. I don't buy into that. The trench was completely weird. Like Danielle, I'm completely with you. I don't understand why, like after Aquaman makes $1 billion, they're like, we're going to do a spinoff about those creatures that were there for a minute. And I saw someone on Twitter speculating, maybe I was like, oh, maybe it was because Momoa just wasn't available. He was doing his Apple show and they kind of wanted a placeholder. And now that the pandemic has delayed everything anyway, they're like, oh, we'll have him back soon enough. We don't need the trench. So that was, the trench was just always a very strange project to me. But yeah, New Gods sounds like one that got away, and I am curious if one day they'll revisit it. But I think you're onto something there, Spencer. Like the trench, the HBO Max series. There's life there. And can we put in Willem Dafoe and his flowing locks?
Yes, please.
He could be in the trench. Yeah, why
Sure.
not?
That's right. We've got to go into the trench, and that's his trailer line. All right. And then I think this is our last of our news stories before we get into some AMA. Godzilla versus Kong. I mentioned it briefly earlier, but that movie is making a lot of money. It is far exceeded expectations. It's been easily the biggest U.S. release since the COVID-19 crisis began. So far, it has made a huge $285.4 million worldwide. But almost the most impressive thing is here in the U.S., given how poorly movies have been doing, because it's made 48.5 million so far. It opened on Wednesday, so that's like kind of Wednesday through Sunday. 32.3 million of that was over the Easter weekend, easily beating Wonder Woman 84 was the previous biggest opening weekend of this entire pandemic with 16.7. So this is way bigger than that, way bigger than Tenet, way bigger than Tom and Jerry, and any of the things that have come out in the past year. So definitely giving people a little, feeling of like optimism here that maybe these movies can do it. So what do you guys think about Godzilla versus Kong? Did they just save the box office? And how much does this mean good things maybe for some of these other movies that are coming out this year?
Well, it's definitely timing, right? Like there's, compared to before, there's more people getting in the vaccine, and there's more of them every day. More places are opening up. We just had AMC has opened up some theaters in the LA area.
Yeah.
So it's also just about timing. But the timing for this movie was also really, really good. Like it was poised because of where it was at for people to get excited about it. And I think we've talked about people online actually having debates about which one was going to win. So I think, but aside from the fact that it's just really big, dumb fun, and we really want really big, dumb fun right now, maybe not so much risking it to go to a theater to watch something that's very heady and thinky. We just want big thing punches big thing. So I think it's benefited from two different types of just like really, really good timing. But yeah, I think it bodes well.
Spencer?
Yeah, I think that, look, I don't know if it's responsible or not to encourage people to go to a theater at this point. Go at your own risk, but this movie is tailor-made to see in theaters. Maybe see it at a drive-in at this point, or see it now because we have this brief window before Variant X strikes and we're all back indoors, if not underground. This may be ruining the Honest trailer a little bit, but I think that this is the best movie to see in one of those movie theme park theaters where the seats move.
D-box or whatever.
Yeah, in a D-box where they're spraying you with weird mists and stuff like that, and shaking you and tickling you at the same time. It's that kind of movie. It's a gigantic cartoon. I think there is absolutely, like Danielle said, no better thing to see right now than the monkey punch the lizard in 5D.
And then, I just wanted to ask, this is the fourth movie in a franchise that had really kind of struggled, and that last Godzilla movie had been a big box office disappointment. I always wonder if they hadn't already filmed Godzilla vs. Kong when King of the Monsters came out, if that might have changed things. But do you think this revitalizes the MonsterVerse? You think they say, okay, we had a big success, let's leave it? Or is it Hollywood going to be Hollywood and say, ooh, MonsterVerse is back, baby, and greenlight 3 more of these things?
Well, Legendary has already been posting like, "Oh, y'all, it looks like people are really into Godzilla." I think if they keep following this formula, because you already do see people online who are like, "All right, so who are they going to fight next?" If you keep it to this formula, if you keep and really start plugging that it's that, instead of another one where it's like we go and discover and the humans are talking, we see 2 seconds of a monster and then the humans are talking. Stick to the big monster kaiju fights, and yeah, this another one would definitely do well.
Spencer.
Yeah, I think that. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Am I back? Am I back?
You're back.
Regardless, I'm going to keep talking, and if I'm not, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to keep talking about Godzilla versus Kong. This is. I think this can revitalize the MonsterVerse because I think that they did get the balance right. I think that maybe contra to what Danielle was saying is that you do need some of the humans, but not too much of the humans. And I think we got the right amount of the humans during this one because you still need that buildup. You still need the anticipation for when the monkey punches the lizard. And I think they got that right. I think they finally nailed it. I do think, however, that you can really only go downhill as far as like world consciousness wise of Godzilla versus King Kong. Those are the 2 big monsters that people know. Like if they're fighting Rodan in the next one or Mothra or something like that, I don't know. You might need to Ready Player One it and have them fight the Rock or have them fight, a large, the truck from Monster Truck. I think that they should continue it, but I wouldn't expect to. It's like if after Batman v Superman, it was like Batman v Aquaman. It just doesn't have the same zing. So I think that they may have peaked with this, but they should and definitely will make more. And you guys have completely frozen at this point. I don't know if I'm talking into the void or not.
No,
so
you're not. You're not.
Now.
Fantastic Beasts is another franchise, another Warner franchise, and involves beasts. Maybe that's how they can actually get all 5 of their movies made a crossover.
I'm all about seeing The Rock come in, playing himself, and they inject him with something, and he grows to supersize. And he fights Godzilla versus Kong. It'd be amazing. Since Spencer's internet is barely holding on, so I think we'll do 1 or 2 AMA questions and let him and his internet rest. And so we had a couple questions from people. Both May asked and Anthony Alvano asked about why have we not seen anything from Eternals? We haven't gotten a trailer for Eternals or Shang-Chi yet. What are they hiding? What do you guys think about the lack of some of these Marvel trailers for stuff we know is coming this year?
Oh, I mean, I think we'll get some of this stuff after when they do more rollouts of more things, right?
Yeah.
Like they're very good about waiting until the last thing has kind of reached its peak and us knowing about it and in hype before they dilute that by adding more stuff. So I think definitely, when's Black Widow coming out again?
July 9th.
We'll get stuff by July 9th or on July 9th, but I don't think we'll get anything before that. And that's, again, just them understanding their marketing and not wanting to take away from other projects that are also coming.
Spencer, can you see us or hear us? Maybe not.
Look, I missed the question. I don't know what you're talking about, but I heard the back half of it. I think you said something about Shang-Chi. Sounds cool. I'm all about it. I can't wait till we get trailer 1 for either of those things. Sounds like a good time.
I think we're gonna make that a last.
Leave. You guys are doing fine.
What are Noli AMA question? We're gonna let my only thing I'll say there is they've got 10 million things this year. They don't need to do them all at the same time. Spencer is out.
Doing that good work though.
I will say before we go, Eric, I think it'll be interesting because the movies will be done. Like how much they get to play around because the movies will be farther along. Shang-Chi would have been coming out by the time we're going to see a trailer. So I wonder how much they mess with the fact that they probably have almost every shot done and approved, and they can really pick and choose what they want to sell the movie on even more. The directors can be pretty picky. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I just think that people have to keep in mind that like there was all these movies that were already had trailers out pre-pandemic, but once the pandemic happened, then everything kind of froze. So there's a ton of big movies coming out in the second half of this year. We haven't seen anything from with The Matrix. We haven't seen anything from that. I think everyone has been so cautious about, are we actually going to get to play them this time? That's one thing. They don't want to get ahead of like promoting a movie that might move again. But also with Marvel, they just have the problem of having so much stuff, like you said, Danielle, that they need to like they need to take their time with what they're promoting, because it's already like 3 things at once, much less like the 10 more things we have this year. But don't worry, guys, I think Marvel's all over it, especially the fact that they have the next movie from the director of Nomadland. They'll go big on that one. All right, guys, I think Spencer has left us, not the world but the internet for now, so we'll let that be. Danielle, thank you very much. Spencer, we thank you wherever you are, and we'll see you next time. Bye.